Hello Year 5, Miss Warren here, hope you're well, and I hope you had a lovely Christmas break and a Happy New Year. Now I am here for your first English lesson, and it's going to be all about what is a sentence? Let's get into it. So this is your first English lesson on what is a sentence. So we're going to have a look at some silly sentences now. So do these sentences make sense? I'm not sure they do. And are they punctuated correctly? So now it's my turn now. I'm going to read them out to you. So 1, I like 2 bananas. 2, the dog is barking loudly. 3, the old ate all the donuts. 4, fish like in water. 5, the tract was painted bright red. And 6, I walk through the old town. And I'd like you to pause the video here. I'd like to write those sentences down and edit them so they make sense and are punctuated correctly. Right, it's your turn now. Off you go. Okay, welcome back. Hopefully you have edited through those sentences and they all make sense now. And we are ready to check through them. Just a bit of word of warning here that actually you might have used a different word or bits of information to make your sentences make sense, and that is absolutely fine, just as long as they do make sense and are punctuated correctly. Okay, let's get into checking these answers then. So for the first one, I like to eat bananas. The second one, the dog is barking loudly. It is missing the capital letter and the full stop. The third one, the old man, lady, dog or cat ate all the donuts. The fourth one, fish like to swim in water. The fifth one, the tract was painted bright red. Now this one makes sense, a lot like the second one, but it was missing a key piece of punctuation, and I wonder if you noticed it. It was missing the full stop at the end. Well done. And 6, I walked through the old town. Now that sentence makes sense and it is punctuated correctly. So well done if you got all those correct. So, thinking back to those silly sentences, what must be included in a sentence? Have a think. What makes a sentence a sentence? Pause the video here and have a think. Okay, hopefully you've thought about that question now. Now it's my turn. I'm going to tell you what I think needs to be included into a sentence. Now, I think we always need to start it with a capital letter and always end it with a full stop, exclamation mark, or a question mark. Now, here's an example of a perfect sentence. It's actually how to make the perfect sentence. It starts with a capital letter and ends with a full stop. Obviously, we can see things around the sentence to ensure about presentation. So we need to make sure it's neat and tidy with finger spaces, need to write the line, and well-formed letters. Now, if you're not sure about the formation of certain letters, go to Miss Evans' spelling video with her handwriting, and that might help with some things you're not sure about. Obviously, at the bottom, you can see that it says it must make sense. Now, I wasn't quite sure about that. How does a sentence make sense? How do you know that a sentence is a sentence and it's making sense? So, what must be included into a sentence to make it make sense? Have a think now. Pause the video here. Have a think about what needs to be included into a sentence to make it make sense. Okay, now it's my turn. I'm going to tell you what needs to be included, and I wonder if you've got some of the same ideas as me. Now, it needs to include a subject. It needs to have a noun, a person, place, or thing. It also needs to include a verb, so a doing word. So, the sentence needs to make sense alone, and if it doesn't, you need to include some extra information to make sure it does. So, for example, here's 2 sentences that do make sense alone. Cats sleep has a noun and a verb. It is a complete sentence. And also, we went to the store. That has nouns, we and store, and went as a doing word. Okay, so here's some more key information. You can see the top 4 boxes. These are our word classes. These are the types of words that go into sentences. And obviously we now know that a verb and a noun needs to be in a sentence to make it a sentence. Obviously the bottom squares, the 5 at the bottom, are the types of punctuation we could include into a sentence. So you've got a full stop and a capital letter. We've got question mark, exclamation mark, and obviously we've got a comma as well. That isn't kind of overly important for a simple sentence, but obviously when we start making our sentences more complicated, we might need to include a comma in there too. So my sentence is, the red rocket flew. Now you can see that the sentence starts with a capital letter, the T is in orange. Then we have red rocket. So that red is an adjective which is describing the noun, which is the rocket, which is the object. And obviously we know that flew is a doing word. It is going somewhere. It is the action word. Then we have the full stop at the end to show that the sentence has come to an end. Now, what I'd like you to do is create your own sentence about stars. So this is my example, which is the stars twinkled. Now it's your turn. I'd like you to create your own sentences about stars, so you can pause the video here now. Okay, hopefully you've written some sentences down about stars. I can't wait to see all the sentences you've created. Okay, well, let's move on. Now, these sentences are great, but how can we make sentences more interesting? What types of things could we include in our sentences? Have a think now. Now, I'm going to be focusing on two specific things we could include into our sentences. One being an expanded noun phrase. This is where we include adjectives to describe the noun. So an example, the courageous, knowledgeable and strong astronaut is reprogramming the ISS. Those words in green, courageous, knowledgeable and strong, are our adjectives to describe the noun astronaut. And obviously we know we need a verb in our sentence to make it make sense. We can also see in the sentence there is an additional piece of punctuation. It's that comma. Now that comma has allowed us to separate those adjectives, and we use commas for things like lists to break them down. I also would like to include French adverbials. These are adverbs that are at the start of a sentence to add more detail, and they can be of place, time, manner, frequency and degree. So here is a table which has some of those French adverbials that you could use if you're a little bit stuck. So I'm going to use the same sentence, the astronaut is reprogramming the ISS, and I'm going to add some French adverbials to show that I could use different ones at the start of the sentence and it would still make sense. So obviously I've got now, which is a French adverbial of time, again, frequency, in space, place, carefully, manner, and totally overwhelmed, degree. So obviously you can see that those French adverbials can be added to the start of my sentence. We can also see here that the commas are also used again before the sentence. So it would separate our French adverbial from the sentence. So we'll have our French adverbial with our comma and then the sentence afterwards. So don't forget to add those commas in. So remember to separate our adjectives in our expanded noun phrase and also to separate our French adverbial from the sentence we've created. Okay. So let's get on to the chilling challenges for this week. So chilling 1, I want you to create some sentences about space. So think about all the things we could think about and write about space. We've got the planets, the solar system, we've got the stars, we've got potentially aliens. Do aliens exist? Who knows? Find out for me, maybe. But I'd like to have just loads of different sentences about space. Now, chilling 2, I'd like to develop these sentences you've created with adjectives, including an expanded noun phrase too. And chilling 3, I want you to include French adverbials to your sentence. Obviously, if you're not quite sure about the French adverbial that you'd like to use, go back to this, the previous slide where I've got that grid to help you. If you really want to challenge yourself, include both expanded noun phrases and French adverbials into your sentences. And that is everything. I hope you've enjoyed today's English lesson. I cannot wait to see all the sentences you send into our Year 5 email about space, and I hope to hear from you all soon. Stay safe. Bye.